So let's talk today about Men's Alliance and the church. So, as of today, Men's Alliance is currently partnered with 93 different churches. We have 119 tribes. So some of our churches have more than one tribe, and some of our tribes are not affiliated with a church, but the vast majority are. And the church I go to has like 7 tribes, I believe, right now. So Men's Alliance is partnered with a lot of churches. Today it's 93. By the time you hear this podcast, it'll probably be over 100. We love the local church. That's who we're partnering with. That's who we are doing ministry with. So I understand how Men's Alliance looks from the outside. Like, I get it. If I were a pastor, I would be leery of this ministry from the outside. I'd be leery of anything from the outside until it shows me its fruit. When you see the fruit that a person or a church or a ministry produces, that's how you know what it's made of. That's how you know if it's authentic. That's how we're told, according to scripture, to judge people. We are to judge according to a person's fruit. And so if a person says they're a Christian, but there's no fruit in their life, then they're not. They're not a Christian. It's that simple. Men's Alliance, I want it to be known for its fruit as well. And one of the common questions we get is Men's Alliance a church? So let me talk about that. Men's Alliance is not a church. Okay? We want to help the church, not replace the church. You need in your life, men, you need a Men's Alliance tribe, and you need a local church. Now, there are things that a local church does that Men's Alliance doesn't do, and that's why you need both, right? We're not baptizing. We're not offering communion. These are just a couple of the big things that we all need in our lives spiritually that Men's Alliance doesn't fulfill. We've had both of those things requested. We've had guys that love Men's Alliance and they're on fire for God, and they're like, hey, can we do communion around the fire? I think that would be amazing. Well, they're right. That would be amazing. It would also be amazing for us to do a baptism. But the local church that we're partnered with, it's already doing those things. So there's no reason for us to do them. We are doing something that they are not doing. Okay? We are filling a gap. We're providing rugged outdoor workouts that are absolutely epic, and then a real world devotion around a fire and getting men into a band of brothers. That's what we do well. That's what we're going to continue to do. And we're not going to try to be a local church and do everything. And we're not going to start offering communion and baptizing. And I hope that pastors of local churches don't start flipping tires and lighting fires. So let's each do what we do best. Men's Alliance wants to point men towards a local church. And we would love it if local churches pointed men towards a Men's Alliance tribe as well. So let me just clear that up. We're not a church. We're not trying to be one. We're not wanting to replace the church in your life. And we're not trying to steal you away from your church or get you to go somewhere else or anything like that. We actually want pastors to say, ever since we got Men's Alliance at our church, the men are more fired up. Okay, when I hear that, that's me getting an A+ on my report card, because that's one of the ways that we judge our fruit in Men's Alliance. I had lunch today, which is the reason why this is on my mind and I'm doing this podcast on it. I had lunch today with a pastor. He's got 2 tribes at his church, and he said, "Oh my gosh, I can see a huge difference. Believe me, the men are insanely on fire who are in Men's Alliance." He was like, "I can't get over it." He was telling me stories about how all in they are in his congregation now. And man, that was just music to my ears. I asked him, I said, "Is there anything Men's Alliance can do for you? Is there anything Men's Alliance can do for your church?" And he said, "Start more tribes. I want one every day of the week at my church." That's what we're here for. We are here like a fuel additive to put in a church's gas tank. Men's Alliance is a fuel additive. We're a supplement to the local church, whom we love partnering with and helping and assisting. I grew up in North Carolina, and my dad was a pastor when I was a young kid. And I know what church is all about. I was a pastor's kid in church, 3 days a week, and I get it. The other funny thing that we sometimes hear is that Men's Alliance is a cult. I love hearing this one, man. So I guess that depends on what you mean by cult. That depends on your definition of cult. If by cult you mean that it's got some insider stuff and it's, the guys who are in it are on fire for it, and they're getting tattoos of it and they're all in, then yeah, sure, we'll take that. But when I think of a cult, I think of something that wants to replace everything else in your life. That's one of the things that makes a cult, is they're trying to be the end all be all everything for you, and they say you don't need anything else. We're all that you need. Oh, that's a red flag. That's a cult. And the other thing a cult does is they don't want you to leave. A cult says you once you're in for good. There's no leaving it. So those are some red flags. Of course, we don't do either of those. If a guy wants to leave Men's Alliance, bye. Hope you don't. Hope you find that it's beneficial to your life. But hey, if workouts and brotherhood and devotions and fires isn't for you, we're not changing anything to keep you. We've had a guy leave because he got a tick on him, and we've had a guy leave because he didn't like the smell of smoke. That's fine. I got no problem with guys leaving. Walk away anytime you want from Men's Alliance. You're more than free to leave, and we are not everything in your life. We are here to point you towards God, towards your marriage, towards your church, and towards being a better father. So we're pointing to things greater than ourselves and hoping to help you on that journey. Now, if we talk about the church, capital C, meaning the body of believers, the bride of Christ, all the Christians in the world are the church. The church is not a building, the church is people. Yes, we're part of that church. We are that church. When 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, that's Men's Alliance. So when we are gathered around the fire, that's a group of believers. That's the 2 or 3 gathered in God's name. So we are the church in that sense. But when people talk about it, we know what they mean. They mean the local church, and we're never trying to replace that. We're here to get men fired up to get more involved in their church. We want to get men off the sidelines and get them involved in their church. And we hope that churches see more men volunteering because of Men's Alliance. We hope that they see more men filling the seats because of Men's Alliance and leading because of Men's Alliance. We want to add to the church, be a net positive, which is why we stopped asking churches for financial support. We don't want to ask anything else of them. We're already asking them to use their land, and they're letting us work out on it and build fires on it, and that's enough. We're not asking for anything more. We want to help the local church. Now, if a church wants to support Men's Alliance financially, they are more than welcome to. We would accept their check. We are a 501c3, but we're not asking them for it anymore because we would rather be supported by thousands of men giving $27.17 per month to remind us how iron sharpens iron. So hope that clears it up. That's how Men's Alliance feels about the local church. That's our position. We're the fuel additive to the local church that we love and we support. And we hope every man in Men's Alliance will get involved in their church.